Hello, Internet. Welcome back to our Apartment Rat series. So we were talking in the last episode about wearing our Kevlar vest in addition to our new chitin, and what I learned is that there's actually you can look directly in this menu, and it tells you everything you need to know. So, for instance, our melee attack rolls are down negative 35%. I don't know if that means we have a 35% chance to be thrown off balance or what. -3 to our dodge skill. Swimming, I don't care about. And melee attacks cost 35 more movement speed or movement points. And what this means is that for every 1 in torso encumbrance we have a 1 increased percent chance of this and a 1 more movement point penalty. I did not know you could hover over these, or at least I didn't think I did. So, for instance, eyes, we have a -7 perception, which means we would have never seen those landmines in that house that we were talking about. And we have a plus 700 when throwing items, which is god awful. Mouth encumbrance makes it more difficult to breathe. I wanted to look at legs as well. This slightly increases our running movement cost, which is not very big a deal at all, and because of our dodge speed. So if we wear the turnout trousers as well, we can look and see the impact that has. It only has a +6 to movement points for running, which is not terrible. Swimming costs a lot more, which we don't care about. And the dodge skill is down even further. Our dodge, you'll see, is 1.8 of 4 because of the cumulative negatives we have between this and our legs. Actually, it looks like between that we should have a -4 to our dodge skill, and we have a 1.8 of 4. I don't know what that means exactly. And then feet also affects movement points for running, but obviously much more significant on the feet, because the feet currently have 1/3 the movement points that we have. I wonder if this is cumulative, like because it's a burden on both legs, we actually have a +12 movement point penalty. I don't know how that works exactly. If we turn on running, you see our base movement speed is 60 and our current speed is 100. Crouching, 241. Walking, 120. So, I mean, honestly, we could wear both, and it would pretty much guarantee that our torso and our legs are never going to really take damage again based on the amount of protection we have. So I do think we're going to roll with both the all of this gear that we're wearing. Obviously, when summer rolls around, we're not going to be able to wear quite as much because of the warmth issues. But in springtime, doesn't seem to be a big deal. So that's really nice. Thanks to whoever said that on Discord. I didn't take note of the name, honestly, because it wasn't something I expected there to be a simple answer to. I thought I would have to go in the code to find out exactly how torso encumbrance affects your character. But there it was right in front of me this whole time, because I am a big dumb idiot. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to continue exploring this little area. We're going to try to hit this other butcher shop. I think we really should be eating some of the stuff we picked up. Like the lunch meat's already old. But I think some of it's going to spoil before we really get through it. Bananas are going to go bad as well, so we'll eat the bananas for a little bit of nutrition, a little bit of vitamins in our body. And we have 6 bags of lunch meat, all of which contain 1 slice of lunch meat. That's pretty pathetic. So let's check this other house. Going to continue rolling along here. Like I said, we're going to be making a priority of going back to the mall at some point, as well as hitting that school. But for now, I want to just continue looking around. We found 3 of these Hack Pro USBs. I'm still not 100% on what I need them for, but we are going to hang on to them. Seems like every time I go in a house, something tracks me in the way I just came. And it was always something I didn't see before I entered. So I don't know what that's about. I assume it's just coincidence. Glamopolitan, Crafty Crafters, I'm sure is not something we need. Cooking on a budget we have. We'll fight the zombie first before we loot, of course. What was that? Zombie grabs you. Okay, not a big deal because it's dead. A lot of food and drink here. Is that frozen? Interesting that the orange is frozen. Nothing else is frozen. Take the long string. We'll search the house. Hello, fat zombie. You know, I was thinking, this is a dumb thing to think about, but I was thinking the other day that, oh, what would I be if I was a zombie in Cataclysm? And unfortunately, the answer is probably fat zombie. I'm not particularly fat. I'm a little chunky, but my instinct, my brain says, oh, you'd be a brute or a Hulk. But then I think about it, and I think Hulks are like Mr. Universe huge. So obviously I'm not that. And like 8 years ago, I would have been a brute for sure. Just huge dude, muscular, big guy. But now I'm just a big guy who's kind of chunky. Toxic gas. So it looks like some stuff's been exploding in here. And you blew up before you even got close to me. Okay, so we're poisoned, which is going to reduce our... Oh, we're not poisoned? Interesting. Boomer, please. Thank you. I think because of all our eye protection... Are we wearing a gas mask or something? Why aren't we... Oh, we're glowing. Nice little purple aura. The big boomers, if you don't know, these big boomers, when they spit at you or whatever, cover you in glowing goo. Very dangerous at night because it makes you a beacon for all the other zombies in the area. When we're kind of hanging out in the back here, it's really not a big deal. Why aren't we getting poisoned? What are we wearing on our mouth? Let's check our mouth. The chitinous mask. Does it protect? It doesn't say anything about protecting us. Dust mask. Worn over your other clothes. This is going to impede our stamina regen, which I didn't think about. Our mouth encumbrance is not terrible. We could take off the dust mask to keep it from conflicting with the chitinous helmet, but I don't think that the dust mask has an encumbrance. Oh. Small protection from airborne illness and dust. Yeah, but that wouldn't protect us from poison. How many times have we been poisoned while wearing the dust mask? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Chitinous mask, protect you from a lot of abuse, cannot be refitted. So it doesn't say anything about protecting us. And then the scarf. We definitely can lose the scarf at this point. Worn over clothing cannot be... So not helpful with anything there. Okay, so we'll take off the knit scarf to free up a tiny bit of encumbrance. And just because we don't really need it for the warmth now that we have some other gear. We are glowing, not a big deal. Anything... Not anything I want. The Book of the Subgenius is a religious book. Yeah, Church of the Subgenius. I don't care at all about that. Not only because it's a religious book, but because there are a lot of these religious books in the games that aren't even really religious. They're just people who are kind of making fun of religion. Like I think we have a book of the Spaghetti Monster, which is the, of course, very famous like atheist kind of thing where they invented basically to mock people who believe in God. My whole philosophy on religion is that you can believe whatever you want, but you really shouldn't try to make fun of other people or tell them what to believe. So like, I don't mind atheists, but sometimes I meet atheists who are like, yeah, and if you believe in God, you're a dumb and they just go off, and it's like, yeah, but can't you just maybe respect that other people have a different belief system than you? Just like I've met Christians. I really want this friggin' haze to go away. Just like I've met Christians who are like, man, if you don't believe in God, you're a freaking idiot. And it's like, can't you just respect that maybe people have different beliefs than you? It comes in all shapes and sizes. There are bigots in every religion. Yes, good. So you're just going to fill it up with more gas. That's cool. That's cool. Just going to chill out. We were hurt. Yeah, let's stop. Why are we hurt? Because now we're poisoned? Really? That was the thing that did it? You've been badly poisoned. After all that? Okay, so that's irritating. We're going to leave because that's just going to piss me off and then I'm going to be angry. So we're going to wait. Hopefully this goes away. You set your alarm. I didn't need you to set... Did time even pass? We're still poisoned. No, turn off your alarm. Cancel. I must have hit the wrong button. Wait a while. 30 minutes. No. Ignore the cockroach. Who cares? No longer feeling nauseous. Let's head back. Maybe I was hitting the alarm that whole time. Maybe that's why. I don't really know. Still full of haze. Okay. That's pissing me off. Let's, Zombie soldier's the only scary thing we see. Where is that at? Zombie soldier. I mean, anybody want to come take a piece of me? Let's go. At this point, we're so armored, I'm not really worried about fighting. as long as our weapon holds up. I don't know if you can move on the downspout. I'm treating it as though you can't. So they would have to come around the side of the building to get us. No. Yes. Really hate that. Okay, so they can walk on the downspout. Really hate the dangerously close message. I know I've complained about that before because they're often not dangerously close, especially when it's dark outside. What do we have left? Okay, there's a boomer, some basic zombies, a grabber that could be an issue. And then that soldier zombie has also spotted us. Not worried about him. Yep, you spit at me. That's fine. Okay, some candy cigarettes. Interesting. No thank you. We're going to try to melee this. 10 damage. That's respectable. And it's easier to do this than to waste our ammunition. My concern was exactly what we see here. Last time I fought a zombie soldier, I think we had the steel spear and I wasn't penetrating its armor. Though that may have been because we were poisoned or something as well. I don't specifically remember. But they are definitely tougher than the average zombie. So he's a Glock on him. Glock is 19 mil, or 9 mil as well. Entrenching tool has some value. I don't know if we brought a shovel with us. And an MRE, so that's pretty good. Unfortunately, not a lot of combat gear. Knee pads could be beneficial. Honestly, with everything being so damaged on zombies, it's hardly ever worth it. A little disappointed they made it to where weapons are now, like when they drop pistols as well, they're also quite damaged. I don't fully understand the logic. Like, I totally get why their clothes would be ripped up, but when you start to say, like, oh yeah, their manufactured metal pistol was severely damaged when they were attacked by zombies, would that necessarily be the case? I don't know that it would. And of course, we can repair that. If we wanted to, we could just take a welder to this, as far as I know. Let's pick up a weapon that's damaged. Let's pick the Glock back up and see if we could repair it if we wanted to. How do we repair? We would have to know what repairs it, which is not on this screen. Page down. Gunsmith repair kit or firearm repair kit. Can we make either of those? Firearm repair kit, basic tools, which we would have all of. Actually, I don't know if it would. Yeah, I don't love that it requires the tools. This is something else that irks me about Cataclysm. I know I complain about Cataclysm a lot, but it really is because I love it so much that I expect it to be better than it is. So here, for instance, in order to repair a firearm, we need a firearm repair kit. But if I had these tools, why couldn't I just repair the item with the tools that I have? Like, if I had all of these tools, I would be incapable of fixing a firearm unless I crafted the intermediate item to use that for the firearm, and then I basically gave up all these tools. Actually, no, it would have all those tools as well. It is a little irritating, though, that you require that intermediate object when you should be able to do it with just the tool qualities that you have in your inventory. Maybe I'm just complaining. I don't know. Stuff like that really bothers me. Just like the welder we talked about in the last episode. I don't understand why I need to craft an intermediate welding welders when I could just make the component kit from scratch. You know, if I have the ability to make it, why can't I pry a fence? Water purifier. Okay, I don't fully understand how the water purifier stuff works in the game. Can we just examine it? 9% full. So does this go up over time? Like if we wait and it's raining, will that go up over time? I don't know if it will. We'll drink some water while we're here, though, just to get it in our system. Hop the fence. Off we go. Oh, thunder. Oh, no, it was a boomer again. Really thought I had cleared you freaking people out. Yep. I mean, just, God, how many are there going to be? So our stats are taking a little dip. It's actually not that bad. It used to be much, much worse. I don't know if we maybe just were poisoned worse previously. But that's actually a pretty small negative. We're just going to go out front. I just don't care. You know, it's just, I don't know. And gases take forever to dissipate when indoors, even when they have open windows and things. I I don't really understand that either. Basic zombies, not scary at all. Let's grab these sausages. Bratwurst. I think these spoil really quickly, actually. One day. Jeez. Lunch meat we're going to leave behind because we're not using it. And it seems silly to take it. The bratwurst, at least, so if you look at it, it has a healthy amount of calories. And the number that we have, this is what we're going to be eating for the next day or two. In fact, we'll eat a couple, although we've eaten a lot of calories today already. Pickled offal. That should stay good, right? One day. What's the point of pickling it if pickling it doesn't make it more of a shelf life? I don't understand. Just like the rotting pickles we've seen. Anyway, a lot of complaining. So, what's going on with me? Really not much. Still sick, of course, because God help me if I can feel good for a day or two. I think we'll start driving our vehicle. Sun's going down in the near future. Why don't we drive our vehicle over towards the school and see if we can navigate safely through this town without too much. What does this road look like? Pretty tightly packed. A lot of vehicles. Okay, not super great, but maybe we can cut across town right here and just, we'd have to get through this line of houses though. So maybe we'll go this way. Hopefully it's clear-ish for us to go through there. We'd like to park in this area. I don't know if we can do that, but we'll see. Why don't we do that? Since we're just, that's not the right button. Why don't we do that since we're just hanging out, not really doing much else. Get this beast turned around. Head to the north. I'm gonna zoom out so we can kind of see stuff before we get to it. I don't know. My brother was here the other day. I think he's going through some job change stuff. I haven't seen my niece in a while. They had some custody things shake out. What in God's name? Oh, it's all gasoline. All these weird colored things are like gasoline or diesel. So they had some custody stuff where like my niece's mother took him to court because she didn't want him to have any kind of custody, even though he pays child support and he wants to be involved in her life. You know, she just didn't want him around her kid. And it's kind of unfair because that's his daughter. And the judge was like, well, how many birthdays has she been with him as it was? And they're like, well, none. Well, how many Christmases has she woken up at her dad's house? And she's like, well, never. I don't let him take her ever. And the judge is like, okay, you don't get to do that. She was hoping she would take him to court and the judge would be like, yeah, you can't see your kid. And what actually happened is they went to court and the judge was like, that's her father. He's allowed to see her. He's done nothing. She brought up, she was like, but he has a criminal history. And my brother was like, okay, well, I have all this paperwork that says, that crime I committed, she was right there with me committing the crime as well. So for her to try and hold that over me, it got expunged from her record, but that doesn't mean she wasn't involved. I have all the paperwork where it says she was involved. She was charged. They just dropped it after she did community service and stuff, whereas he had actually gone to jail for it. And the judge was like, yeah, this proves that you were right there with him. How are you going to say he's unfit to be a father if you want her custody and you committed the exact same crime? So the judge really gave it to the mother of my niece and was like, yeah, this year she's going to wake up at her dad's on Christmas. We're not going to let you just steal his kid away from him when he's done nothing to prove. He pays his child support, even though it's a ton of money that I think is more than she should be asking for. I don't think it's a fair amount to take from him when he earns a very bad living as it is. And the judge was like, yeah, this year she's going to be with her dad on her birthday. This year, because we're going to alternate holidays, this year she's going to spend a couple weeks with her dad over summer vacation. This year she's going to wake up at her dad's house on Christmas. And so the judge really, really stood up for my brother, which I didn't expect because, if I'm being honest, one, he's black with a criminal history, and two, he has some mental limitations, and I really thought the judge was going to be like, oh, this guy's unfit to be a parent. And he didn't do that. He turned around and was like, yeah, he's done nothing to prove he's a bad father. I think that he's trying really hard, and I think that you don't get to tell him he can't see his child. And so now he's spending a lot of time with her. He gets her, I think every other weekend. And since since she's allowed to be alone with him now, whereas before she only let him see her when there was like someone to supervise, because he does have some mental limitations, and she's, I guess, worried about the safety of her kid. Now it's more like she is staying at his house occasionally. Sometimes I think they just had their first overnight where he got to be with her overnight. And since then, I haven't really seen her, because instead of coming here where they could be kind of supervised and whatever, she's going to his house where she's alone with him. And my family goes to see her, but I don't really leave the house that much. Oh, that's barbed wire. I was going to say we did need wire, but that's the wrong wire. So yeah, I haven't seen my niece in a while. Like I said before, I don't have a lot. I mean, I love her. She's my niece. But like, I don't have anything in common with her. She's very young. And she's still at that age where, like, this is the example I always give, where she thinks farts are funny. And I don't, because I'm a grown-up. And so I don't have a lot in common with a little child. Maybe in 5 or 6 years when she, maybe I can get her into gaming or whatever. I wanted to buy her, I was going to buy the Super Nintendo Classic, because I wanted one, and I thought it would be fun to show her some of the games that we kind of played when we were kids, what games used to be like. I know she plays on her mom's phone, so I know she likes games. It's just she is too young to, like, I couldn't share Cataclysm with her, right? It's obviously not intended for like a 6-year-old. I think her birthday's next week, actually. What am I doing? Unload the tailor's kit. Sewing kit. Okay. Yeah, I think her birthday's next week. First week of... I mean, I shouldn't talk about her. It's one of those things where it's like, my instinct is, it's fine to talk about family. But then when I go to say things, I don't like... One, because she's a kid. I feel like kids on the internet, people are not good people. And there are some people who are going to be weird about you talking about a kid on the internet, because they may have some problems. I explored the wrong house. We explored this one, but we'll go explore this one now. So I don't like to talk about young people on the internet, and I don't really like talking about my family on the internet, because I feel like it reveals some privacy stuff that is maybe better kept from the family. Like talking about my brother and his custody issues seems like something that maybe I shouldn't have talked about, because it's like a respect thing, and I'm not trying to disrespect my niece's mother or anything. I just do think she gives him a lot of grief over how she doesn't think he's fit to be a parent. But at the same time, they were in a relationship for years. You intentionally got pregnant with him, so you obviously thought he was capable of being a parent when you let him put a baby in you. So I have a pretty low tolerance for that kind of stuff. I don't know what a coffee maker's used for other than making coffee, I assume. We will take all this stuff. We'll take some of this stuff, I guess. And we'll just dump it in. Oh, the graveyards have pretty high monster spawns, I think. Maybe not this graveyard. The bigger graveyard definitely has monster spawns. But so we safely got our vehicle through the town, which was a little bit of a tricky spot, but with the rams on the front and things, I'm not super worried about it. Drop all this, and we will head into the school tonight, and if I'm feeling particularly brave, we might slip up to try and go in the mall and recover our iron shod quarterstaff, because that is an improvement over the nail bat by just a few points, plus it has a lot of the combat abilities I really want. Let's also pick up, can we carry, how large is resinous cord? It weighs a little bit, but it's really not heavy. We'll carry 2 with us, because the nail bat does seem to take a lot of damage. I don't know if the quarterstaff was like that or not. I feel like we didn't have to repair that for many, many in-game days, or even weeks. What do we want to do? Why don't we repair some of our vehicle while we're just kind of killing time until nightfall? Let's grab our welder. We never did pick up any more heating elements. We'll also grab just a medium battery to replace it as we go. Let's repair some things. No damaged parts on this vehicle. That's a bold-faced lie. So let's look at these. Hey, look, something that needs repaired. Because we don't have glare protection. Gotcha. There's nothing. Basically what that means, the message is a bit misleading. It's not, oh, you didn't have anything to repair. It's, oh, you're incapable of repairing. So let's hit the repair button. Yeah, I'm not worried about that right now. Let's do the RAM first, because that was what was hitting the zombies. Actually in pretty good condition. The windshield I could care less about. Security system, no. Actually looking pretty good. That storage battery needs to come off, because it is going to inhibit our ability to recharge our batteries, which is going to be more and more important as we put in an electric engine and things like that. So I'm a little bit regretting that we put that in the first place. Repairing cargo spaces takes a lot longer for some reason than the other parts. We actually made that through with very little damage. So let's reload. No, God, I hate that it auto goes to us reloading the weapon. Reload the welder, drop the uncharged one, and we'll go drop our welder. And we'll pick up the rifle again. What does our inventory look like? We're at 20. We're wearing a leather backpack because I didn't want to wear the more encumbering storage, the military rucksack. I think we're set. I think we're ready to travel into this school. And we are past time, so I think we'll call the episode here. In the next episode, we'll be heading into the school to loot and hopefully find a lot of books is mainly what we're looking for. We'll probably also pick up a couple of baseball bats while we're there. And that'll be in the next episode. So for now, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry if the commentary derailed a little bit. I feel a little inappropriate talking about custody stuff. Should have maybe not talked about that. But it's done now, so okay. Thanks for watching. Of course, I'll be back with more Cataclysm content in the near future. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you in the next one.